Variables are placeholders for storing dynamically or programmatically supplied user values. Hi, I'm Seema from AutomationEdge Professional Services. In this video, I will describe the set PS variables Process Studio step to create process variables. Process Studio has 4 ways to capture dynamic user inputs. The 4 types of variables include user-defined variables, internal variables, parameters, and Process Studio variables. In this video, I will talk about Process Studio variables. There are 2 ways to set Process Studio variables: in the Set Process Studio Variables step and in the Workflow Properties. Let us describe the Set Variables step. The Set PS Variables step is a step in the AutomationEdge core plugin in Process Studio. The Set PS Variables defines or sets Process Studio variables with global or local scope as specified. The Set PS Variables step assigns field values to the Process Studio variables. You can use local or global Process Studio variables in the same workflow where it is defined using the Get PS Variable step, or directly calling the Process Studio variables in braces with a $ sigil appended before it. Local Process Studio variables are available in the same workflow. Global Process Studio variables are available in all child workflows or processes throughout the life cycle of the parent or the root process. Now let us go to Process Studio and check the Get PS Variables step configuration options. I am in Process Studio. I have opened a blank workflow Set PS Variables. Let us search for the Set PS Variables step. Drag and drop the Set Variables step on the canvas. To configure the step, let us double-click and open the step. Let us configure each of the fields one by one. In the step name, provide a suitable name that describes the purpose of the step, or usually you can use a convention such as the first 3 or 4 letters of the step name followed by a suitable description. So for example, if I wish to set the stock symbol variable, I can provide stock symbol. For now, let us click cancel. Let us open the step again. The next configuration option is a checkbox. Check the Execute even if no rows found checkbox to execute the step in case no rows are received. Now in this step, as you can see in the table below, we provide a field name coming from the previous steps to assign it to the variable name that we define in the next column. Now if there is no previous field, that means no rows are found. In such case, we can use this checkbox to execute even if no row is found. The next is a checkbox again, fail if field not found. So select the checkbox if you want to fail the step if field is not found. By default it is checked. Now let us see the options in the field values table. The first is the field name. You can either select from the drop down list or you can click the Get Fields button to get all the fields at once. Now for the purpose of this demo, let us define some incoming fields from previous steps. So let me cancel this. Let me search for the Generate Rows step. Generate rows is an easy way to induce input rows or fields in the workflow. So let me configure the Generate Rows. Say I want just 2 rows and let me create 2 fields. Say company name and stock symbol. I will keep the type as string for both the fields. I will leave the other configurations. Click OK. I saved my workflow. Let me go back to the Set PS Variable step. Now we are in the field values table. You can get all the fields in the input stream at once by clicking on the Get Fields button. As you can see, it has fetched the company name and stock symbol that we defined, and it has given default variable names. You can change the names. For example, I want company underscore name or say stock underscore symbol. Now in many cases, it's possible that I don't want to define variable names for all the incoming fields. So in that case, instead of using the Get Fields option, you can select field names one by one from the list and provide suitable variable names. So let me provide company name. Next is variable scope. Select a variable scope from the list, that is local or global. Local variables, as the name suggests, are available only in the workflow where it is created. They are not available to the child workflows or processes. The second option is global. Global variables are visible throughout the life cycle of the main or parent workflow or process. They are destroyed after the main or parent workflow or process ends. And there is one more thing, the same variable name can be used for local and global scopes simultaneously. That means you can define another variable with the same name but having global scope. The value modified or fetched is completely based on the scope specified. In the default value, specify the default value of the variable. Depending on the value of the execute even if no row is found checkbox, it is considered if no row is received. Click OK to accept the configuration changes. On clicking OK, Process Studio performs validation checks. It checks if any required field values are missing and displays a validation error if so. It will accept the configuration only if all the required values are present. Or click Cancel to cancel the configurations. Let me click OK. We saw how to create Process Studio variables using the Set PS variable step. Now let me show you the second way. Double click on the canvas to open the workflow properties. The third tab is PS variables. Here you can define PS variables. Say let me define a variable X with a description X and a scope local. Let me define one more PS variable Y with a description Y and the scope as global. You can also provide the default values. Click OK. So we've defined PS variables using the Set PS variable step and the PS variables tabs in the workflow properties. Let us see how to access the PS variables that we just defined. To access PS variables defined in the Set PS variable step, you can use a metadata string containing the scope and variable name in braces and appended with a $sign in the beginning. And you can access the PS variables defined in the workflow properties with the same metadata string containing the scope and the variable name in braces appended with a $in the beginning. Or you can use the Get PS Variables button in the Get PS Variables step to access the PS variables defined in the workflow properties. Or you can use Control plus space in any step in the workflow that contains a $sign next to it. The list will include the PS variables defined in the workflow properties. We will see a practical demo to access PS variables in the next video for the Get PS Variables step. Let us recap. We saw the Set Variable step, description, and configuration options. AutomationEdge can jumpstart your digital transformation journey. You can quickly build workflows to automate business processes using the numerous pre-built plugin actions.